I used to work at the post office several towns down, and the man who was in charge of that place, well, he was not necessarily well liked by all of us employees, but he was respected. And those of us who, if perhaps we had a little bit of resentment for him and his ways, at the very minimum, we definitely feared him and we respected him. We feared the fact that he didn't play any games. He was a very serious individual, and he did everything by the book, as it were. He was somebody who ran a very tight ship. That's what I was told by my driving instructor. When I was hired on, um, I should say he was my driving instructor when I was hired on, but he pulled me over many months later and he gave me a warning because I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, which is something that they did on occasion. They would go to different offices and do inspections of this sort just to make sure that everything was up to spec or whatever. And even he knew, the guy knew everybody in the local area as far as the postal service was concerned, knew this guy was no joke. He didn't fool around, you know. And that just goes to show he, you know, while not necessarily being particularly liked, albeit respected, and I can attest to that because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know, and I'm not the type to just dislike somebody and jump to a conclusion. Um, the people that I don't like generally are people that I've grown to dislike over time. They're people who have shown me that they have bad qualities and qualities that, you know, that stand the test of time, right? You give somebody the benefit of the doubt and they just keep shitting on you, so to speak. With that being said, I respected the guy, like I said, in a sense. And I recognized that he had a certain quality. You know, he could ruffle feathers and he could rub people the wrong way. I get that, but he had a way of sorry, speaking of, he had a way of establishing order. He had a very methodical way of handling things, and he didn't like to deviate. That was part of what I called his OCD. He did have that, but I think for good reason. His adherence to protocol and to structure um, kept things in order, and I'm sure helped to avoid a lot of unpleasant situations for a lot of people. And I have no doubt that this man's military back here we go again, military background has something to do with it. He had been in the military, I believe. He wasn't too vocal about it, but I think I saw something that hinted at it. He didn't even tell me. The point being is that, you know, a man who conducts himself with discipline and with order and with structure is going to transmit that to the things in his life, for better or for worse. Like I said, this guy was not the best liked individual, but he was definitely respected, at least by me. It's hard to explain, but I think most of us can understand it. It was a bit of a, maybe you can see the tension in my body. Um, a bit of a begrudging respect, but it was a respect nonetheless. I suppose it was the type of quality that you expect to see in a leader. You know, like I said, he may not always be liked, and he may not be likable or wish to be liked, but he knows that that's not his job. His job is to make a thing happen, to make things happen, to keep the order and then the motion of things going in an organization. On the opposite end of the spectrum, and I'll address this in another video, is the man who was broken. I'm gonna not go into too many rabbit holes here. I have that tendency. Let's keep it simple. The man who was broken and is able to break anything almost at will without even trying. I'm at the 6-minute mark, so I'm gonna have to speak on that at another time if I do.